has the ability or has the capacity to confirm the vow that the daughter or the wife has made to God, or to disallow the vow that the daughter or the wife has made to God. And in both cases, God would allow it. Why? Because God understands that the man is a man of authority. God understands that I gave him authority. It's like you have appointed somebody to act in your stead. You delegated your power to the person. You should allow the person to function. All right? When you delegate your authority to somebody, allow the person to function. It shows a level of confidence. It shows that you believe in the person. It shows that you trust the person's sense of judgment. It shows that you know this person can deliver what I've committed into his hand. The responsibility I've given unto him, he is able to deliver it. So God has so much confidence in us as men. God has so much confidence in you as a man, and that is why he has given you that authority. He has placed you in that position of authority to function in his stead. So when your daughter or your wife comes up and makes a vow to God, and you say, oh beautiful, you made a vow to God, oh, that's fine, let it be, so be it. But if your daughter or your wife comes to you and say, look, I've made a vow to God, and you say, no, you can't make that vow now, let's forget about it. Your wife or your daughter may fear, but I made a vow to God. It's to God. But the Bible is saying, so long as you say no, heaven recognizes the no that was said by the father or that was said by the husband. This is very, very serious. It is not something that should be taken lightly. It is an understanding, it is an awareness, it's a revelation that you needed to stop for a while and then consider the weight of this responsibility or this position that God has placed you as a man. You need to understand the weight of it. It is not something you say, oh really, so I have this much power, so I can do anything I want to do. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That is not what I'm talking about. I went that way to make us realize that the place we occupy is a place of authority. And when you give a man authority, you give him a responsibility. That takes me to the second point. We occupy the place of authority and we occupy the place of responsibility. Every man, no matter the age, the status, the exposure in life, occupies the place of authority and also occupies the place of responsibility. So why would God hold the man responsible for voiding, why would God not hold the man responsible rather for voiding the vow made by his daughter or for voiding the vow made by his wife? It is because God knows that with the authority that he has deposited inside of you, you cannot afford to be careless. He knows. He expects that you cannot afford to be careless. He expects that with the authority that he has deposited inside of you, you should be able to function in that capacity and then discharge your responsibility to meet up with his expectation. So that is an expectation of us by God, and he expects that, understanding that you're a man in authority, you are a man occupying the place of authority, you should not falter, you should not fail, you should not disappoint him. He has an expectation of us, and so he expects us to be responsible. A wise one once said that if you put authority in the hand of a madman, there will be a problem. If you put authority in the hand of a madman, there will be so much problem. Is that not why we have a lot of problems in the homes? Because the men have not come to understand their place of authority, and they have not come to realize that with that authority comes an expectation. And because they've not also realized the expectation that flows from that authority, they are not able to discharge the responsibility that has been placed upon their shoulders. So that is where the problem is. And that is why the devil is going all around to make every man irresponsible, because he knows that the moment you fail in your responsibility, the foundation of the home, the foundation of the marriage is destroyed. You see the man drinking, you see the man misbehaving, you see the man who is a man of authority occupying the position of authority going about sleeping with everything that is in skirt, and then coming home to commit incest with the daughters, because he has not come to understand that he's a man of authority and responsibility is expected of him. So the place of understanding your manhood, it's very, very important, because when you come to understand what makes you a man, when you come to understand what is expected of you as a man, when you come to understand the position you occupy as a man, there is no way you go out and then you begin to mess up. Not at all. The scripture says of us that a man that is in honor and does not know that is a man in honor, he should perish like the beasts. He's not worthy of living. He's not supposed to be alive. So when you fail to realize that you are a man in honor and you occupy the place of authority, and there is a responsibility that is expected of you, then what makes you a man? You're not fit to be alive. You are a disappointment, as it were, to the men folk. So it is important for us to understand the place of our manhood, so that we will not fall short of the expectation of God at our hand. This is why many homes are in shambles, unfortunately, because the man is irresponsible. This is why children are becoming wayward, because the man is irresponsible. Now, when I say the man is irresponsible, I am not just talking about the man's inability to provide material things for the family. That is part of it, but that is not the only thing I am talking about when I mention or say irresponsible. So when I say the man has become irresponsible, I am talking about the irresponsibility that flows from not understanding that you are a man of authority and that you occupy the place of responsibility. The irresponsibility that flows from you failing to understand that you are a man in authority and you occupy the place of responsibility. You see, this is very key. This is very important. Very, very important for us at this point, at this stage of our development, at this stage of our life, at this point where we are, to get this into our senses. If you are able to get it into your senses, it will guide you in everything you do. It will help you in your relationship, both with the opposite sex and with every other person that is around you. You walk with that, with that understanding that this is what is expected of me as a man, because I occupy the place of authority and I'm supposed to be responsible. So, if you understand that you are a man who occupies the place of responsibility, you will not leave your family at home every evening to go and watch football with your friends. No. You will not leave your family at home every evening to go and hang out with friends. No. You understand that you have a responsibility towards your wife, you have a responsibility towards your family, you have a responsibility towards everyone that is with you in the house. So the question is, or the question you need to answer is, do you understand your authority as a man? Do you understand your authority as a man? Are you a responsible man? Look around you. Look at the men who are around you. What can you say about them? Do you think any of them understand their place of authority? Do you think any of them understand their place of responsibility? Look around you. Your dad, your pastor, your brothers, or your siblings, the male ones, and the rest of them. Look around you. And then with what you see around you, what are you telling yourself right now, moving forward? Do you want to be as irresponsible as some of them have been? Or you are beginning to realize that there is a weight on you that you need to discharge. There is a responsibility that is expected at your hand, and you cannot afford to fail. All right, now let's move on. So when we are talking about the place of understanding your manhood, you need to understand that one, you occupy the place of authority, and then you also occupy the place of responsibility. Now, beyond that, You also need to understand that as a man, you are a leader. As a man, you are a leader. That is why when a man comes into any gathering, maybe a gathering of women, and you walk into the place, it automatically changes the atmosphere of the environment. Why? Because there is an expectation. There is an expectation. People are looking up to you. Oh, this is a man. Not because you have 6 packs. I don't have 6 packs anyway. I think I have about 2. All right. I'm still working on it. Maybe with time, it will get to 6 packs. But let me manage my 2 for now.